All right, right from the start, they had to tuck the mic in, so I got a little casual, so it's all right. Questions are okay as we go through the presentation. I'm going to leave the last 10 minutes or so for questions, although my wish is that as we go through the presentation, if you have a question or have a thought or have an opinion, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'd appreciate your response back and letting me know what your thoughts are. We came here to talk about home automation, but I think the first thing we need to do is really talk about automation itself and what automation is. So that's the first question of the day. What do you believe automation really is? If you were to define automation, what would it be?
The Jetsons.
Say what?
The Jetsons, the cartoon.
Oh, I get you. Yes, sir.
Mechanizing processes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? I actually went online and obviously everyone has an opinion. And you all have opinions in terms of what automation is also. But just to help out a little bit, the definition that we came up with was making the electronic devices and systems that you already use on a daily basis work together seamlessly. Does that make sense? So anything we can do to do automation and automate our processes on a day-to-day basis is something we want to do. What are the reasons for using automation? What do you think the top two are?
Laziness.
I'm sorry, laziness?
Laziness. Convenience.
Convenience. Cost. Money's a big one. Money's a very big one. How about staying organized? If you look at saving money, how in the world can you save money? Through automation. How can you do that?
Schedule. Get rid of some jobs.
I'm sorry? I'm having a tough time hearing you.
Time cost. Automate jobs away.
True. One of the things in home that you can think in terms of automation is, what about your thermostats? How many people have programmable thermostats? If you use a programmable thermostat and you use it properly, a lot of people put them in their house and never use them, by the way. But if you put them in your house and use it, you can save money by doing so. How about researching products or services online before you go shopping? Maybe save a little money. Go to one spot versus another. Best Buy, H.H. Gregg, whatever, but one might have a better deal than the other, and that's where you prefer to go. Another way to save money. Sometimes you can get coupons online. Another good way to save money, but you're using a tool, an automation tool to get there. You're using your laptop, or your iPad, your iPhone, to do the research to get there. One of the things that Tiger Systems does as far as automation is concerned is every night, and those work orders are already out, every night we send all of our work orders out to all of our technicians at night so that in the morning they know exactly what they have to load in their trucks, where they have to go, and they all know they have to be out of the warehouse at 8:30. But that's a lot of good automation for us. We get a lot more efficiency from the folks. They don't have to come in, we don't have to sit down with them, we don't have to talk about where they're going, what they're going to be doing, or anything of that sort. So that's a good way to do automation. How about organized? If you stay organized, how would you use automation to be organized?
You avoid human mistakes.
True. How about keeping your calendar? Simple as keeping your calendar on your iPhone, your iPad. That's organized. That's being very organized. That allows you to use your time to do other things. If you're organized in some way, somehow, some fashion, certainly you have additional time. I asked one of the guys in the office when we thought about coming down here, I said, what do you think of automation really is? He said, well, I asked him, do you do automation? He said, yes, I do. What do you do? I go to the bank every day. I don't have to go inside and talk to the teller, not that the teller's not a nice person. It's just I don't have to do it. I don't have to waste my time parking the car, getting out of the car, going into the bank, talking to the teller. I can pull up the machine, I can extract money, I can deposit money, I can do all my banking transactions without ever going inside. And if I really want to do it, I can stay at home or I can stay in the office and do all the different banking needs that I have online with my laptop or my desktop computer. How many folks here use automation? If you think about automation, start thinking a little bit out of the box. If you think about automation, how many people here use automation? If there's one person that doesn't raise their hand, I'm coming to get you. Because everybody uses automation. Everybody uses automation in one fashion or another. What do you use it for? William, I was talking to you in the hallway. You sat right there, so you asked for it. What do you use automation for?
Well, other than what you've already gone over, I use online calendar, I use email, yeah.
Absolutely.
Use it for finance. You have filters on your portfolio, on Yahoo Finance, whatever, that tells you when certain events happen. It sends you so you're not wasting your time looking. If something happens to one of your stocks, it's telling you in advance. You've got it on Google for news feeds.
Absolutely.
So that
absolutely.
Something for your company, you're not looking for it, all of a sudden you get an email that says, hey, these 3 events happened today.
True. What about a simple TV remote? I brought everything known to man here from my house, but I don't need them because later we'll talk about home automation, and the reason I don't need them is because I do have automation at home. And if you look at this, the best thing that happened to us when I redid my family room space is I asked my wife, I made the mistake of asking her opinion actually. And it was real simple though. It was real simple. She said, I just don't want to fuss with anything. So the first thing we did was when we put the automation system in, we'll talk more about it in a little while, we took all the batteries out of these guys, we put them in a plastic bag. I brought the plastic bag. And we put them in the basement. We don't need them anymore. But if you think about the simplest degree of automation that you do, William, I'll bet you use a TV remote. I'll bet you use a DVD remote. Here's a receiver remote. If you really wanted to, you wouldn't have to have home automation. But first of all, you could go up and you could push the button on the side of your TV, and it would come on. You could go to your receiver if you had one, you could turn it on. You could go to your SAT box or your cable box, you could turn it on manually. All those things are possible. A step up from that, however, is using a physical remote. A step up from that, which we'll talk about, is home automation. It's taking all those guys that we're talking about and just putting them away. So we talked a little bit about what you might do now, although a lot of silence in the back part of the room there. But if you wanted to automate something, let's switch it around a little bit. We know there's a lot of things you do automate, and you do use automation. You use the bank card. What about automation? Is this automation? I mean, in its simplest form. I can unlock and lock my car door, and I can remote start it, as long as I'm reasonably close. Wouldn't it be nice if I just had, well, of course I wouldn't want to do it on an app because it's in the garage. I don't want to start the car for somebody else, thank you very much. But it is a form of automation, to say the least. But if you wanted to automate something in your life right now, and money wasn't an issue, what would you automate? Let's hear from the back a little bit. Yes, sir.
So, me and my roommates just recently moved into a new house where we actually have to, we don't have a dumpster, we have one of those big green things that you have to take out yourself. And because we're new at it, we keep missing the date. So it's if that thing would just automatically go down to the end of our driveway and get taken out, that would be awesome.
Wow. How about if I just remind you that it's garbage night and you take it out?
Then you're above it.
I tried to sign up for the calendar events from Columbus, but I can't get it to work with my iPhone.
We'll work on that.
I got it to work on mine.
Anything that you'd like to automate?
Oh, my washer.
Besides taking your garbage can down the driveway, there's going to be this little buggy and it's a track and all that good stuff.
My laundry room, I would like to get like a little bing or something on my TV or my computer when laundry is done washing or drying.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Like an automated door so it actually washes right.
Yes, sir. Letting your dogs out. Well, we can open the door. We can unlock the door. We could probably open it. A little bit of hydraulics because we put.
Provide the love.
Yeah, we could sing a little song, I guess, play some music for them. What do they like? Anything else? Any other ideas?
Garage door?
Yeah.
Garage door. What do you want to do with the garage door? You already have a garage door opener. I have a garage door opener. I have 3 of them. 3 cars, 3 garage door openers.
Make sure it's closed at night.
Right.
Big problem.
Yes.
Big problem. Dublin Police comes along. One of the guys in the office leaves his garage, habitually leaves his garage door up. Goes to go to bed at night. Phone rings. It's the Dublin Police. Say, Bob, you left your garage door open again. And he has to go downstairs, or he did have to go downstairs. Home automation, however, if he sets his security system at night and the garage door is up, it'll put it down for him. And oh, by the way, in terms of garbage, he forgets the garbage too. So in garbage night, it tells him it's garbage night. So he sets his alarm, he's not done yet.
Don't let him move his car until he takes that garage, until he takes the garbage out.
My apologies, folks, I've had a cold, so we'll try to go through. But if you look at tools of automation, we talked about different ways you want to automate things. And we talked about a bank card, we've talked about key fob, talked about a laptop. My laptop's there. iPad's here. iPhone's here. Universal remote, Control 4 automation, we'll get to that. But there's lots of different tools. Tools of automation, satellite remotes. I showed you a few of those. TV remotes, Apple. Garage door remote, showed you that. Home automation, if I just took, oh, what about GPS? That's automation. In fact, getting around Columbus, if I didn't have this puppy, lights out. You know, you'd be on CarQuest every morning trying to figure out where in the heck you're going. But if you really want to do home automation, these are some of the tools you absolutely can use. And there are some people who like, by the way, home automation on a handheld remote. We'll talk about that also. And it's possible, most certainly. Let's switch gears and let's talk a little bit about smart home technology. You have a family with 2 children, and you have another family with no children. Who uses smart technology more?
No children.
How many say with children? 74% of the people with children use home automation. Think about it. The kids are driving it. Get up here. No, individuals with children use the home devices 74% of the time. Without children, 48% of the time. Individuals tracking their own personal data. What percent of people track their own data, do you suppose? I apologize again for the cough. How many people? What percent? I heard a low figure. 22%. I heard 60. 74% of the people track their own data, their own personal data, in some mechanized form, in some form of automation, somehow, some way. Give me some examples of automation. We've transited, we kind of understand a little bit about automation in general. Let's switch gears, stay with the home automation side. What kind of things do you want to do at home? How about just simply audio, video?
Record Walking Dead.
Yeah.
My wife said, I don't want the iPad. When we put our Control 4 system in, I don't want to use the iPad. It's just, I don't want to do it. Okay. So we programmed it so that, you see this red button? She comes down in the morning, she presses that red button. It turns on the TV, it turns on the receiver, it turns on the sat box, it turns on all the speakers. It's on the channel she was watching last night before she went to bed. She's happy. Very, very happy. Happy camper. And we programmed the other buttons to do other things for her. In fact, we even said, oh, by the way, I'm going to up the ante a little bit, dear. You press the green button, and that's the DVD button, by the way. So it turns off the sat box, because you don't need that anymore. But you do need the DVD player on, you do need the receiver on, because I have a house audio system as well. So it only turns on, depending upon, in true home automation, any device that you're managing your home automation system with, only turns on those things that are pertinent to what you want to do. So when she's watching a DVD, it turns on the DVD player. The receiver is kind of our traffic cop in our house. So it turns on the receiver, it turns on the DVD player, it turns on the TV, all the speakers are functional, and she's off and running. And oh, by the way, a little surprise, darling. Press this bottom right-hand button here, and it'll open the tray for you on the DVD player, and you can just put the DVD in there.
RF or IR?
I'm sorry?
Is it RF or IR?
RF. So she can sit still.
Yeah.
She can open the tray, and I can go put the DVD player, or DVD in. So if you start thinking about home automation and what you might want to do, you can think about all kinds of things to do. How about lighting? Everybody has all kinds of lighting in your space. How many people leave lights on and go off to work? The lights are on. Typical place to leave them on, by the way, is the bathroom, the closet, because you're in the kitchen, you kind of see that a little bit, so you'll catch that. But a lot of people just leave the lights on. If you're thinking about saving money, going back to that one comment we made earlier on in terms of one of the primary reasons for people doing automation or home automation is to save money. So if you can turn off lights when they're not being used, if you go out of the room and nobody's back in that room for the next 15 minutes, lights will get shut off. That can be a part of home automation. We have programmable thermostats, that's true. And if we use them, that can save heating and cooling. But certainly being able to manage it remotely, turn it on, turn it off. Let me paint a picture for you. We have a client who works on the West Coast, lives in Columbus, true story, lives in Columbus, works on the West Coast. Wife has family in New York City. They go their separate ways. Now he knows she's coming home tonight. And she knows that the plane lands, and he checks with his iPad, one of his automation tools. He checks the schedule for the flights. He sees everything's on time. So what he does is he goes online, he turns on the lights, because they've been off. They've automatically turned off through the home automation system. He turns the lights back on. He turns the heat or the heat up or the cool down. He adjusts the climate within the home. And he turns on her favorite music. Is he her favorite guy or what? He really is. But all those things are possible in terms of home automation, and it comes to heating and cooling. How about security? Everybody, how many people have security systems, by the way? That's it? I want your names. I have a way into your home. A lot of people have security systems, and it varies in terms of what they have. But more and more, what we're seeing as far as home automation is concerned is the fact that people want to know exactly what the status of any part of their home really is at any given point in time. And security, I want to know when my security system is on and when it's off. I get a message on my iPhone that says my wife just set the alarm. In other words, she's going out. I can call her and say, going shopping again? Really? I know when she comes back. I know that she's safe and sound. If I don't have children in the house anymore, the same guy that left his garage door up and forgets to take the garbage out has a young daughter. That young daughter has a curfew. Curfew is, I'll say midnight. I have no clue in terms of what a real curfew really is. But she has a curfew. So the next morning, dear old dad says, "Hey, Annie, what time did you get home?" "Oh, I was just a couple minutes late, Dad. I got in just kind of a little over the 12 o'clock hour, but I was there on time, no problem." "Annie, you forget what I do for a living. You forget what kind of system we have. Because home automation, everybody can have their own code in terms of their security system. You know when they come and go. If indeed you have people coming in to do work in your home, painters or somebody doing some mechanical work, furnace man, certainly you can allow them a code for a day. Come 5 o'clock though, that code is no good anymore. And that can all be done through home automation and your security system, because your security system gets tied into that home automation system. So you can have security, you can have lighting, you can have audio, you can have video, you can have all kinds of disparate things. They're all drawn together under the blanket of home automation. So you can control and watch exactly what you do. If you wanted to see the cameras outside and inside Tiger Systems, we could fire up my iPad and show you exactly what's going on around the building and inside the building at any given point in time. More and more what people want to do is they want to have the convenience of having a security system, having a surveillance system, having an audio video system, but they want to be able to manage it with one tool and one tool only. And that is home automation for sure. How about shades and drapes? These puppies go up and down, I'm sure. Anybody that, who works here? You? Well, sometimes. Be honest, okay? Okay. Yeah. But these are automated? Nope, they're manual? Uh-oh. Well, we can help you with that. So another form of automation, again, tucking it into that, underneath that blanket of home automation, can be shades and drapes. There is a video that I looked at this afternoon before I came here. A lady lives in New York City. And in her apartment, she has a ton of windows. One of them happens to be pretty darn close to the neighbor. So the neighbor could kind of look in to her master bedroom. So what she does is when she goes into her master bedroom closet, first of all, the light comes on. She can see where she's going. And oh, by the way, her home automation system knows she's going into the closet, so possibly she's getting dressed, and it puts the shades down for her. It's an event that causes something else to happen, all controlled by home automation. Within the last 3 weeks, I've had two clients, one is an existing client now, the other is still a prospective client. We're still working on that. But both of them have driveways that are ridiculously long. Ridiculously long. One is 3,700 feet long. One is a mile long. And they both wind back through some wooded area. Now, how in the world? You've got the greatest security system in the world. You get all kinds of cameras inside and around your house. How in the world are you going to know if somebody comes in and up the driveway? Certainly, we can put a probe, what we call a probe or a sensor, just a little bit out from the house, so that when somebody drives in or walks in, if they break that plane, they're going to get a text message, or they're going to get a soft sound, perhaps like a doorbell chime or something like that. Whatever they want, quite honestly, whatever you want to hear or want to see, the home automation system is going to allow you to know when somebody's coming in your driveway. And you can get the gun or do whatever you want. It's unfortunate because people like that do live back off the road, and they are off the main highway, and they do need some sort of notification in terms of what's going on in and around their property. How about generators and pool covers? Anybody ever think of a generator or pool cover being a part of a home automation system? More and more people have power generators, backup generators. They have backup generators because they don't want to put up with what we all put up with if you lived in Columbus, I don't know how many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago now maybe, when the power was out during the summertime for a very long time.
Oh, that was 2012.
What was it?
2012, it's only a couple of years ago.
It's only a couple of years ago?
Yep.
Misery lasts a long time,
I
doesn't
know,
it?
it seems like it was.
I didn't like that part at all. But the bottom line is they have generators. A lot of people have generators now. I have one that you have to pull and plug in, but a lot of people have the kind that are affixed to the house. Those generators get tested all the time. If you're going to have a generator, you're going to spend that kind of money, you want to know that that thing came on and went off. It was tested today because it's tested every Tuesday. And home automation will send you a message, text message that says, oh, by the way, generator came on, ran fine, generator's off. All well and good. In terms of pools and pool covers, we had a client that just built an absolutely fantastic backyard space, including just a monster pool this summer. The first question he asked is, says, can you automate, because he does have home automation from us, can you automate the fact that we can close that pool and open the pool? Well, the law says you cannot. We cannot automate the opening or closing of a swimming pool. Think about it. You know, somebody's in the pool and you automatically close it. You can't see them, but the law says you have to stand there and be visually able to see the physical pool before you can close it or open it. However, what we can do is we can send you a text message or some sort of message, usually it's a text message, saying, oh, by the way, your pool cover is open or your pool cover is closed. Grandkids are over, in my case, the kids are over, whatever the case might be, and I want to send them out and so they can have a good time, but I need to open the pool cover. I press the button. I'm also getting sandwiches ready. I know that that pool cover came on because I got a text message back. So then my daughter takes the kids out and we're good to go. So pool cover generators, messages at night, a lot of messages at night from people who lighting came on or the garage door or again, just messages to remind people to do things. All part of home automation. We work with several condo developments. In the condo developments, you have a swipe card, and maybe some of you already live in a condo or live in an apartment where you have a swipe card, or work someplace where they have a swipe card. So all those swipe cards, from an automation perspective, be it office or home automation, all of those cards can be shut off at a particular point in time, or turned on at a particular point in time. So anybody after the hour of 5 o'clock just can't get into your building, or can't come into work, unless they're so authorized to do just exactly that. How many people have an automatic coffee pot? So you program that little guy up, so when you get up in the morning, you're ready to go. Me too, I want that coffee right away. Coffee pots are made so that they are automated. You can set them for a particular time in the morning so that they will come on. They can also be coffee pots. Not everybody has an automated coffee pot, a programmable coffee pot. And if you don't, you can certainly make that a part of your home automation. How do you think you do that? Stop and think about it. We've been talking about a lot of examples, a lot of things. How in the world do you make your coffee pot automated when it's not? Sir?
Control power to the outlet, maybe?
Absolutely. We got a special gift for this guy back here? No, that's absolutely true. And a lot of people complain about, and if you read enough about it, there's a lot of talk about vampire power. So if you leave things plugged in, if you leave your toaster plugged in, your coffee pot plugged in, everybody leaves their microwave plugged in normally. I do. But if you want to control the vampire power in your house, you can actually put a switch in the wall that allows you to shut that off at a particular point in time and turn it on at a particular point in time. If we wanted to control the lights in here, what we'd physically do is we'd take the light switch out, we'd put a Control 4 programmable light switch in, and we'd tell it what we wanted to do. Better yet, we'd tell it what you wanted it to do. You can always manually override any of these types of switches. The beauty of it is you can turn this light switch off, you can turn the light switch on, you can dim it down, You could gradually move it up, physically do this. You could have it do things at a certain time. I am guilty of not turning on my lights outside, my carriage lights on my garage and the lights on my front porch. So they now automatically come on at dusk. Is he guilty? He's guilty. They automatically come on at dusk and they go off at dawn. I don't have to worry about them. Saves power, saves time, saves money, and I don't get a call saying, are you sure you turned the lights off? Well, I'm sure I don't remember. For sure. So I've talked about a lot of different things that we can automate. What else could you automate? How many people have parents or friends that are not well? Maybe they're convalescing. In my age, you have parents that are pretty darn old, because I'm fairly well there myself, but you have people that are older, and you really want to know what's going on. Or you may just have someone, even a friend, who's physically not well. You want to know what's going on in that person's life. So healthcare-wise, you can have sensor in a bed, so that you know when that person gets up or down. Now you don't have to live there. You could live across town or miles away. But you know when that person got up, and you also know when that person went back to bed. From a health and making sure that you're taking care and giving them the proper comfort and care that they need. Medicine cabinet. If somebody's ill, I just had a good buddy that we started our careers together way back when. He's been very ill for a long time. He takes tons and tons of medication. His wife wanted to know, to make sure that if he got up at night to take his medication, he said, "Don't worry about it, dear. I'm going to go take my medication. You don't have to get up." We want to make sure that that medicine cabinet gets opened, gets closed. So there's monitors and there's sensors that you can put not only on the bed to make sure that you know when people are up. When they get back in bed, you can also make sure that you know exactly when they went to the medicine cabinet, opened that medicine cabinet, and presumably at that point in time, took the meds. So a lot of things like that. One of the things that we do also in terms of home, I'm giving all the examples. You people are just sitting here now. You got to shape up and give me a couple examples here. But yes, sir.
I have some. So things I'd like to see is that my furnace tells me when it's time to be, time to be serviced. That my central air tells me, hey, there's a problem. It needs to be serviced. My refrigerator says I'm not functioning right. We need to place a service call.
So it's got a little hiccup going on there.
Yeah, there's things I guess before I find out and say it's 90 degrees outside and my central air is down and it's a week wait before I get somebody out.
Normally in terms of central air and furnaces, we have kind of rituals that we go through each year that check the furnace when it gets to be fall. And we check the air conditioning when springtime comes. And certainly we can provide you reminders that say, oh, by the way, now's the time. You got to check, you got to have your furnace checked. Now's the time to bring the folks in. Sometimes if there's interruptions of power, kind of surges of power, we can also let you know that there's surges of power. Well, maybe the fridge is just not working exactly right. The freezing unit comes on and off and on and off, on and off, and that's just not right. So there's lots of things you can do. And I will tell you that if you use your imagination and you think about what you'd like to automate, there is a pretty darn good way to do it. And it can be done through home automation for sure. Any other examples of things that you'd like to do? Yes, sir.
I'd like to have moisture sensors in the plants. So that
Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Not a problem at all. You can do that for sure. The other, just talking about sensors in terms of water, we service a condo unit a little bit north of here, and they have a sprinkler system. The sprinkler system came on uninvited. And a sprinkler system dumps about 1,400 gallons of water a minute out of it. It wants to put out the fire. So the minute that thing comes on, and you can have water sensors and what we call water bugs. You can have them throughout your house, or you could have them down near the hot water heater, in case your hot water heater goes on the fritz and starts draining water out unnecessarily. But water bugs can be had to measure moisture and do all kinds of things. I read, Vince, are you giving away, did you already say what you're giving away tonight as the grand prize?
They know about the Nest.
Okay, the Nest. There's also a system, and there's lots of people that make tools that I think are very interesting that they may want to have incorporated in a home automation system like we offer from Tiger Systems. How many eggs are left in your container in the fridgie? I really don't care, but there are some people apparently that care how many eggs are in there. And when they're getting low, because maybe they eat a lot of eggs. So it's important to know that. Yes, sir?
So what do you say if maybe your gas line sprung a leak?
Gas line sprung a leak?
Pressures, if your gas line sprung a leak, your pressure drops. So when you want a sensor to say, hey, there's something wrong with your gas line.
That's right. And you can put sensors on gas lines. You can do that. And again, it will tell you what the pressure is. But more importantly, you know, the carbon monoxide detectors will also, if they sense something is wrong, they're going to send you a message and let you know. And you could be at work, you could be on vacation. Hopefully not on vacation, but certainly those things happen.
Better than smoke alarms?
I'm sorry?
Anything better than a smoke detector? If the smoke detector goes off, you're already pretty much screwed.
That's true. That's true. You can measure temperature changes. In terms of security, you know, if you can kind of get out in front of things with a temperature change, and that makes a difference. Things are not looking so good. If you, for instance, security-wise, I won't divulge all that I do, but I got this big idea that in terms of my security system at home, I'd kind of get the perimeter covered. So before they get to the door, and I've got the door covered because the first element of security is to cover all the doors, to secure all the doors, to make sure you have contacts on all the doors. First line of security. But I like to know before they get there. So there are things you can do with that as well. Okay? Anything else? Anybody else want to? We've already got the water sensors on the plants taken care of. We can measure gas, we can measure the temperature, we can do all those kind of good things. What other kind of things?
I'd like to know if
It's about time, William, okay?
Sorry.
Really?
I'd like to know if the pipes in my house are getting really cold or in danger of freezing.
Again, you'd have to put a temperature gauge on there, and the temperature gauge would send you, and I wish I had that last year because with all that cold weather, I didn't realize that there were 2 pipes that ran up the back of my crawl space right past the vent, and they froze and broke. It would have been nice to know that those, and I didn't even know they were there, but it would be nice to know if the temperature of those pipes is getting to the point at which you really need to do something. Either go back and insulate it, shut the water off there, or whatever the case might be. Think about it. Anything in the world that you'd like to do. Let me give you another example. Oh.
I get a notification if I forget to charge my phone at night.
I'm thinking how we do that. Okay. What we do is just send you a message to remind you. Is that good enough?
On your dead phone.
Yeah, that would be a problem, Vince. That would be a problem. If you had a security system or some home automation system of some sort, we could at least remind you to do it. First thing that comes to mind.
You already talked about lights, but with having kids, one of the things we have to do is we need to get up earlier so we can turn on lights and do things that gradually wake them up. So being able to automate lights in the kids' bedrooms to at a specific time that they start at a low and increased brightness.
Boy, have I got a story for you. True story. Using home automation, mom and dad beat their heads against the wall trying to get the kids up in the morning. How many people have trouble getting their kids up in the morning? There's a few of us. I used to have to threaten my son with bodily harm, physically. Get up. One of our clients said, I need help. Well, my wife and I are just frustrated beyond belief in terms of being able to take care of business here and get those kids up. We yell, we scream until we're just hoarse in the morning. Okay, here's the way you do it. Work with the lights. So when it's time to get up, turn the lights on. They don't get up, lights start to go up. Turn the radio on. Their favorite station. Oh, this will get them up. They like this music, right? Get a little feedback here. So, we've got lights, we've got music. They're still not up. They said the parents said, we want something better than that. We want the next step. Okay, so the girl likes this kind of music. The guy likes this kind of music. Their favorite tunes are on. We're going to swap them and we're going to turn the volume up something fierce. Or how about a little, everybody likes rock and roll, everybody likes certain, you know, the boy likes Maroon 5, he thinks that's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That gets turned on first, he had his chance. A little Beethoven later on, all messed up at about 4,000 decibels of sound. That'll get you up. So we can do all kinds of things like that. So we'll be at your house tomorrow. Seeing if I have any other examples. In theaters, a lot of times what we will do is if people go into a theater, they need to have lights. So the minute they go into a theater, their own theater, home theater, the lights will come on because motion picks them up. So everybody can be seated, they can get their snacks or whatever they're going to do. They sit down, they turn the system on. The lights come down to 60%. Punch that DVD button, lights come down to 40% or 30% or whatever is comfortable for them. I'm interfering with that mic. So automating the whole process and making sure that whenever events take place, there's some reaction to that particular event that allows them to control their environment. So automating everything. We're getting close toward the time when we can just relax a little bit and ask some more questions, but we have another one back here. Yes, sir.
Do you have any issues with like conflicting remotes or conflicting controls, like your wife messing with the iPad app versus you messing with the iPad app, like any of that kind of stuff?
It could be, and upon occasion we run into, if we've installed a system, there'll be some crosstalk in terms of the frequency that's being used, and what we'll do is just go back and change the frequency that's being used on a particular remote. I will tell you that one of the things that is fun to do, it's only fun every once in a while because it gets old quick, but I can go online with my iPhone. I can go to the Office system. Number one, I can see the cameras, I can operate the security, and I can mess with the music. And I can mess with the music room by room by room, or in this case, office by office. So we have one gal that gets pretty intense, and she's working away, and we'll turn her lights out. We'll turn her music up. I'll get a phone call. Jay, you're doing it again. But you can do all kinds of things like that. As long as you have remote control, as long as you have automation in place at home or in the business environment, then you have the ability to control it. First thing I would suggest in terms of if you're moving into a new space, if you're thinking about going with home automation initially, do yourself a favor. Take it a step at a time. Don't go all in. Get a system that allows you to, for example, if the first thing you want to do, the very first thing you want to do is control all of your audio and video. That's what everybody really wants to do up front. They want to control all their audio and video. So coming out of the box, Control 4 via this guy right here, with that iPad there, or this iPhone right here, I can control my home automation system. I can control all my audio and all my video. Do that. And then live in the space a little bit with your existing step into, or your first step into home automation. And once you've done that, then start thinking about adding things to it. Lighting, your security system, your heating, your cooling, but don't do it all at once. It gets to be overwhelming, even though you have an automated tool that allow you to really address the issues. Sir? That was just a wave?
Question.
Okay.
You're talking about sensors on doors, windows, water sensors, one's on the floor, the water bugs, protecting your perimeter, one's outside. How are you dealing with those in terms of one, communication, and two, power? You're talking about having all these devices scattered everywhere. How are you powering them out, and how are they talking to the home system?
In terms of, let's just take my security system at home, for example. I have a security system that is partially wired, partially wireless. So some of my door contacts are wireless, but they can still communicate back to the main panel, and then I can view the main panel. And I can do that in whatever way I want. So it really becomes a matter of choices. If you can't get, and you can't acquire a home automation system that gives you choices, then you're choosing the wrong one. You really have to be able to choose and do what you want, and also be able to add and do things on your timelines and not let it cost you any more money. So if you want to, if you're controlling all of your audio and video and you want to create lighting and lighting scenes and things like that, and you want to take plugs out and replace them with Control 4 plugs, now we can program them, we can control them. Do it on a step-by-step basis. It doesn't cost you any more today than it will tomorrow, because the price of plugs just hasn't gone up. I mean, it's stayed rather stationary. Let me just finish on, yes, sir.
Do you have any experience with open source based home automation products, or just proprietary boxes?
Can't go over there. I'm sorry?
Open source home automation products, or are you working with vendor supplied closed systems?
Closed systems. But the thing you have to remember with closed system also gives you access to a lot of other things. There's a company called Card Access. Card Access makes interfaces with a lot of things that you can interface and work into your home automation system. Software called Extra Vegetables allows you to work with a lot of different things. So even though you have a closed box system, and Control 4 comes in a box like this, it's really, they shrunk them down pretty good. About like this, about this tall, about this deep. It's a mini computer is what it is. It runs all of the home automation tools that you might have. But also it allows you to interface with other things, because everybody's not going to want the same thing. As an example, I went shopping just for grins a couple weeks ago. I talked to Vince about this. If you go to a DIY store, and if you're so inclined and you want to do some automation yourself, there are opportunities for you to do that without coming to a Tiger Systems. I'll feel bad, but without coming to Tiger Systems, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and you can look at Hue Lighting. Anybody ever hear of Hue Lighting? Anybody ever have it? A nod of a head back here. Anybody ever have? I see a hand back there have Hue Lighting. Nest, which we're going to be talking about here in a second. Wink. I'm sorry. Yeah. Wink is the one that advertises that they can tell how many eggs you still have left in your fridgie. Another thing they have is I don't get this, help me out. They have this little piggy bank. It says it can tell you how much money you got in your piggy bank, how much you're saving. Well, that's not a very big piggy bank. I'm talking some serious savings here, and that's not it. But I guess for kids, or something like that, or if you're really saving your pennies, it would be important. But it also can tell you how much money you got, how much money goes into your little piggy bank. And that's a system that you can buy at Home Depot. So Wink, Chamberlain doors, garage door openers. You can get it so that you can automate it. You can control it on your iPhone, your iPad, things like that. And there's just a ton of others. The systems that we use most often, Control 4 is the home automation tool. Why do we like it? We like it because it's reliable. We like leading edge. We don't like bleeding edge. I leave my phone on until 10 o'clock at night, and I leave it on all weekend long. And there are 4 of us in the company that do that. I'll take the call, but I don't want to get the call. So if I get the call, there's something wrong. So the point being, make sure that whatever you're getting from DIY or a person like Tiger Systems, a company like Tiger Systems, you get something that's reliable. HAI, we use Home Automation Incorporated. If somebody says, I want security, that's my first thing that I want security. And oh, by the way, I may want to do lighting, I may want to do control my audio and video. If they're starting with security, then we're going to probably point them toward HAI, or Home Automation Incorporated. We use a lot of EverFocus cameras, and as I said, EverFocus allows us to give you an app, a free app, so you can see what your cameras are doing inside and outside the house. I tried on a new system, a new security system. That new security system, the big thing with security systems, you go with the ADTs or people like that, they're going to give you the system pretty much up front. They may charge you a little bit more on a monthly basis. With us, you're going to have to buy the system. We're going to sell you the system. We're going to maintain it. Our monthly fee for monitoring is much less, but we were looking for a smaller product, a product that you could just utilize and perhaps even do yourself if you so wanted to do it. There's a product called, if you're interested in security and you want to take a look at a product like that, there's a product called 2 gig. Anybody here for 2 gig? The number 2 and GIG. Take a look at it. Again, a company like ours, there's a custom installation organization. We do consulting, we do design, we do pre-wire, we do installation, we do integration, we do education. All of that good stuff. But there are many of you that may not need what we have to offer. So look at those systems like Hue for lighting and 2 gig for security and so on and so forth. With that, I'm going to cut it off. I was going to show a couple examples. We can forego that. Any other questions? You've been very patient. Some of you have been very talkative. No, thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk to you.